one-on-one conversations. Let the member experiment on the platform. And third thing is to figure out the challenge and take it up from there. These are the three things which
have a personal touch. When somebody is joining, you acknowledge them as a human, as a personal, from human to human connection.
I think today's topic is very, very important for every community builder. I think it is, in my view, the most important thing that determines the success of community in long run. It's about building member relationships in a community. Now, why this is super important? I think at scale, the best thing that you can do for your community to be not required in the community, and your members are able to drive value for each other. And that can only happen that if you build meaningful relationship with members of your community. So like I said, the only reason why we exist today is, because of the volunteers, also committing to the mission that we have. If they were not there, we will not exist. And what we have learned at Communityhood, and thanks Madhurima for helping us with this framework, when we were thinking of how to structure, member relationships, a very important point came in where, a lot of communities think of member relationships in two phases. The first phase is the onboarding phase, where it has to be a lot more hands-on. Onboarding is probably the most important time for any member to really find value and commit themselves to the cause of the community. So, a lot of good communities focus on, building member relationships right at the onboarding. So they do things like talking about what we do at Communityhood. We do personalized welcome message in the introduction room. We also send a one-on-one welcome message, which is automated, but it still helps everyone to know what can they expect in the community. We also do, in a lot of cases, one-on-one calls to discuss the goals and expectations from each member within the first week itself. And then, whoever is having trouble a little bit with sign up, we also do personal one-on-one calls. So that is all that we do today. But after our learnings from our pre-event catch-up, we do plan to add few more things, but, I'll come back to that later. Very quickly, want to share our learnings beyond post-onboarding as well. So we do a few networking events as well that helps in building relationships. So we try to have one networking event every 2 months at least. And we try to make it a little informal so that everyone casually also know each other, build relationship. That is one. The second one to me is the most important thing that we do. We run, various volunteer programs. So what we have done is, at least the events that we do, we generally try to have it run by volunteers. So, we've tried multiple event formats, but the most successful one so far has been this roundtable. And this has been completely volunteer led. And, right from thinking of the topic, thinking of the format, how can we improve the format, everything has been done by our volunteers. So volunteer programs is the most important thing that we have done to build deep relationship with at least few members who resonate with the mission that we stand for, which is to help community builders in their journey of community building and learn the best practices of community building. We are very, very heavy on learning the best practices. Then what we also do is, and again, this is something that we are still early, but we have few niche-based chat groups which can be thought of sub-communities. I think I'm very, very impressed by what was done and discussed in one of my conversations in the last town hall with Ragini. We are trying to learn from that community. They have done it fantastically well in terms of building sub-communities. We are also trying that. We've seen few early interest in terms of wellness community builders. We see on and off certain discussions happening on it. We're now trying to add more and more sub-communities in the lines of, let's say, if there are certain community consultants, we can probably create a sub-community of those. if there are certain healthcare specific community builder, we've already gotten a couple of people who want that to be built. So over next few weeks, you'll start seeing more action there. But again, it is going to be volunteer led, and having like these smaller niche, smaller micro communities help in, building member relationship as well. Then one more thing that we do is we give a lot of shout outs on social media, not only to the volunteers, but some of the members who are doing great work in their journey of community building. That also helps us, gives us a way to have a conversation with them. They also feel a little bit more rewarded. So yeah, that's one thing that we do. And then, gamification on online events for member bonding. One more thing that we do often is we take regular feedback from members, especially in events. Even today you'll see, Akshita and Kushagra sharing link of a type form where we'll try to understand what could we improve in this event. So yeah, these are some of the things that we do, and it shouldn't stop at just taking feedback. If you're doing, let's say, named feedback, you should actually reach out to those members, try and understand what can be improved. One of the biggest learning that came out from the pre-event catch-up was the better, like the earlier you are able to give ownership, even at a small level, to your members, that is the best way to build member relationship, because they get committed to success of your community. And if they get committed, you are not alone in the journey. That DNA spreads, they will get more members excited about the mission that you stand for. Now, I want to also talk about some of the community activities that other communities are doing. And, this was primarily like this came from our pre-event catch-up 2 days back with the volunteers. So certain communities like, BlueLearn, HEN, My Captain, what they do is they do a platform walkthrough or a video via one-on-one calls, automation tools, and even WhatsApp groups. So, the BlueLearn community, what they do is they are fairly large. So they onboard new members, and they actually keep creating WhatsApp groups as their community increases. And every WhatsApp group becomes like a onboarding mechanism for new members, and they educate them about what to do, how to use the community through that WhatsApp group. And then, there are communities like HEN where they do this welcome call, where, it's like it goes on till I think every month they do it. So for few members, even like in their case, onboarding goes on till 30 days. Whereas someone like My Captain, they have a very defined onboarding for 7 days. That's how at least they look at it internally right now. So they do things like weekly orientation calls to make sure everyone who joins, within first 7 days, they know what is the platform, what can they expect from the community. Then a lot of people do community introduction, welcome messages. This is again something common. Brief periodic events, like I just said. One of the things that came in from our discussion with My Captain was what they do is they and in fact few others as well. I remember Meera's community, which is around story writers. They also do something similar where, within the first week or the first month, whoever contributes the most, they actually recognize their efforts in front of everyone. And they make them, so in My Captain, what they do is in the second week, they would ask one of the members in the first week to onboard other members and talk a little bit about what their experience has been and what they have seen and learned from the community. So that is very, very helpful way to make your members belong to the community. And I cannot emphasize more on why this is important. Having a sense of belonging and ownership is the best way to build member relationship. And sharing the community playbook, a lot of community, what they do is like Leap Club does it. They have a Notion document which they share with everyone around best practices of the community. What can they expect? Some of those things. So in fact, we are going to take some of these and improve communityhood experience you'll see going forward on the onboarding side. And on the post-onboarding side, we've seen a lot of people, really take a lot of feedback to improve communities, celebrate achievements and small efforts made by members. That is like an ongoing thing. People create these rituals which keep celebrating small achievements of their members. Rewarding top members is something very common. Doing these informal events is something very common. So rituals, celebrating festivals with each other. So the two things that I would like to take away from today's discussion is try to find ways to be, friends with your members, and try to find ways to give ownership to your members. Both these things will give them a way to feel belonged to the community. And the key word for any community success is, how belonged are your members. So with that, I'll conclude the learnings from so far, whatever we could gather. Just want to take a minute to introduce our lovely volunteers. Vineet, I don't need to introduce him again. He's been the most consistent member. I think him and Manohar, they were there, but today Manohar missed it and Vineet is here. So Vineet is now officially the most consistent volunteer on Roundtables. Meera is a new addition. She's the founder of Let's Make Stories, and she runs a community of story writers. Yash is also a new addition. He is a community builder at BlueLearn. BlueLearn is a student focused community that helps them upskill. Sourav again has been with us for a while now. He is head of community relations at Learn for Cause. Nirav again has been one of the older volunteers in terms of the number of sessions. So he is the founder of BRANDfluenzers community. Dipin is again a new addition. Dipin is a community manager at Network FP, and he is also exploring few new ideas around building something very exciting. Probably will keep it for some other day. Ruche again has been with us for a while now. Ruche is founder of HEN, which is a community of Indian women entrepreneurs. And Madhurima has also, I think it's her second or third roundtable. She is community manager at My Captain, and one of the really lovely community managers. Always jolly, always helpful. If you need to just brainstorm, just hit her up, and she'll be more than happy to help you. I can assure you that.
So I was the one who was moderating the roundtable discussion. We had about 6 people, Shweta, Chandan, Nanki, Utkarsha, Ojas and Jitendra. So essentially, Shweta is part of the Art of Living volunteer group, and frankly speaking, the word of mouth works very well. And that is how they have been building it. So they are figuring out what the online space could do and add onto. But word of mouth is where they stuck to. Chandan is running a big student-led community. So essentially, the students discover the community either through the website or they land up on Discord or the WhatsApp group. And frankly speaking, they are having the conversation depending on their interest base. So that was pretty interesting. Like you do the experiments out there and figure out what next to do. Nanki is being part of Building Roots, which is essentially permaculture and agriculture sort of project, creating the spaces for kitchen garden and other things. So they had a very interesting conversation in terms of like how you are interacting with your customers, members, and the one-on-one thing came out upfront. And with Ojas, who is building the fitness, the community for fitness trainers, there was a very different challenge which came in, and essentially they are figuring out ways to make sure that the trainers are coming in, they are building in their community, they are figuring out how to monetize both the and learn from each other as things are shaping up. So that's where the space is. With every community, there was an ethos which was attached, and that's how the onboarding process is occurring. So that's from my side.
Got it. So if you were to Vineet, just highlight maybe 3 activities that people do, in just like one line or two words. What were the top 3 activities that people in on your table were doing to build member relationships?
One-on-one conversations. Let the member experiment on the platform, and third thing is to figure out the challenge and take it up from there. These are the three things which came in upfront.
Got it.
So this is something that we have been also following, that Aditya has an invite only community. So they have to fill up the form, go through that 7-day bootcamp, and then they send the invites. So if anyone has to have some serious members in their community, this is the best process I think Aditya is following, just to have more serious members in the community. And this was from Aditya's viewpoint. And second, I would just like to share about Nirav's point, that Nirav has been adding a lot of value daily to the community that he's building. Also, third would be he is continuing the physical meetups every now and then to build a relationship. So like these were three of the things that I liked about our discussion.
So physical meetings, adding value in general, the first one was
invite only.
Keeping it invite only, so that it self-filters the intent of the members, and that helps in keeping the community tight. Thanks, Dipin, for sharing that. Very quickly, moving on to the next table. Madhurima, you want to go next?
Sure. Yeah. So we had a very small breakout room, of course, and majority of them, we had Vivek, Varja, Deepak, Pranay. Everyone is new to the space. They don't have a community. They have an idea. They have brilliant ideas, but they haven't started yet. So we just spoke about Suyash's idea. He's doing a conscious dating space, like he's in the conscious dating space, building community around it. And he is offline first. So they do retreats. That's their acquisition. They invite people to retreats, and they try and connect people to each other, like-minded people, more of conscious dating, who are in this for long term, right? And I shared my experience with onboarding as well as post-onboarding, and how do we do relationship building with members at My Capital. We all agreed on one thing, that first we need to define our onboarding period, right? So we have acquired somebody, but how is it that we're going to be onboarding them? What is the period we want to onboard them for? For Yash, it was a 3-day period, because that's the duration of their retreat. And he keeps it very personal. He keeps it very, they have an orientation, introduction and everything. And then they have communication on WhatsApp groups, and there is a recall created that is post-onboarding. After the whole retreat is done, they bring, they try and bring back the same members and getting them to add more people. So the activities and mostly they're focused on events and personalized events. So yeah, that was a little bit of onboarding and post onboarding for Suyash. But overall, in summary, I think what we discussed is have a personal touch. When somebody is joining, you acknowledge them as a human, as a personal, from human to human connection. That's how you start building ownership from the beginning. And the second thing that we very importantly discuss is identify the purpose of somebody joining the community. So either you ask them or you have it very well defined, give questions and try and identify which category do they fall under, so that you can curate the relationship that you're trying to build with them there as well. So I think since most of the community builders in the group were very, very new, we got to a point where we said, okay, if we need to build relationships with our members, have a personal touch, identify the purpose of joining, and then give them the ownership of, help them start contributing with the purpose, for the purpose by which they have joined the community. I think that was what we discussed in our breakout room.
So I had a varied team. Like I had Nikunj, Anupam, Rana, Ritu, Hema, Kannan, and Will. So each of them, the onboarding element, I think the one first thing is that they have a WhatsApp group, and one more observation is that they have a Welcome Kitty, for example, which Ritu had shared for the moms group. They have a PDF and they have a onboarding kit kind of videos and things available. It's been mostly run on the WhatsApp communities, and for the men's group, for the men's community, which is run by Nikunj and the team. They have volunteer support across locations, wherein they have a help center number also, which is flashed on the website, where the members, once they join, they can reach out to. This is one, and one common element is that they wish to build an automation. They will wish to build a structure, because most of them, they've been running it on the WhatsApp group, several WhatsApp groups, and these were the things.
Got it. So a welcome kit, giving a number where you can say, we're always there to support you, is very, very helpful. And automation tools to sort of scale your welcome, scale your relationship building. That would probably be the thing.
Structure in place for the community per se. Like for example, Kanan, who takes care of the community for the abroad opportunities, career opportunities, and we have Hema, who takes care of for the edible roots. That's a farming and gardening part. And post-onboarding, Nikunj has run an offsite event which had around 200 people in Bombay. And one more thing is they look for collaborations also. This is what Ritu had shared in her initiative, the post-onboarding, collaborating with the others, coming up with the events, which are, for example, Father's Day is coming. So they're planning an event in collaboration with the others.
With that, I'll conclude today's session. Thank you so much for showing up. So, until next week, bye. Have a great next 7 days, and do show up again. This is how we grow as a tribe, and we help each other. Feel free to reach out to anyone on LinkedIn or anywhere who you could connect with, and keep collaborating, keep growing, keep learning. Thanks. Bye.